Hello, and happy Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in and for choosing to spend some of your time with me. I'm trying to do the evil, the evil person who holds the cat and turns around in the chair and they're doing this. Yeah, but I can't. This is my little partner today. This is Chase. Say hi, baby. Okay, enough of that. So, welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. During the month of November, we are going to be focusing on gaining some clarity. Like, let's get clear about some things, because when we have clarity, we have more ease of mind. It decreases our stress. It increases our spiritual alignment. It makes us feel more powerful. Our overall wellness is better because it affects anything that affects our mental health and our emotional health, increases both our physical and our spiritual health. So clarity helps in those ways as well. It helps boost our self-esteem and make us feel better about who we are. When we're clear about who we are, we can move more confidently through our lives, and it also helps bring us more inner peace. During the month, we're going to touch on each week a couple of different things that tie into different arenas of clarity, meaning we're going to talk about clarity of our lives, clarity of our minds, clarity of our spirits, clarity of ourselves. And I'm going to loop them into the components of all of those things into the questions that I give you during the course of the month, so that you're getting a little bit of everything during the course of November. And it is really, really important that we focus on clarity. So there's a couple of things that I want to say to you. When we are looking for clarity about tomorrow, next week, the future in general, we're generally setting ourselves up because we don't know exactly what's going to happen. So we're looking for this like certainty, and I need to know what's going to happen. And then when we do that, we set ourselves up for disappointment when it doesn't work out exactly the way we wanted it to, or when it doesn't work out at all, or at least that's how we perceive it. Or when we are saying, I need to know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know. Nobody does. Nobody knows. What we do know is that we can get clear on focusing on this moment. So the number one thing that helps us gain clarity is us being clear that it is important to be present, to be as present as possible, to focus on this moment as much as possible, because this is where the magic is. This is where the happiness is. This is where your peace is. It's right now in this moment. It's not when then I'll be happy, then I'll find peace, no. That's not real, because if you can't allow yourself to be anchored in it now, if you can't allow yourself to at least strive for it and move towards it now, it's going to just continuously get harder as you go along, because you're expecting that this condition or this thing is then going to be the answer to your clarity, your peace, your joy, your happiness. And the answer to all of those things already lives inside of you. So I want to just get right into it. What I've decided to do for this month is, for myself, when I'm looking for clarity, I ask what I call clarifying questions. So when a situation pops off and I need clarity about the situation, I always ask clarifying questions. So for instance, let's say that there was a situation that really upset me. I would always ask myself, okay, what is it really about this situation that upsets me? And then by breaking it down into those smaller components, or being able to see the root of it, I can usually go, this is not as detrimental as I made it out to be in my mind, or this is not my business, or this is not that upsetting, right? I just kind of let myself go to this place. And then when I let myself go there, I lost track of what was clear, if that makes sense. So the number one question that I'm going to ask you to ask yourself when you find yourself in a situation that feels really stressful or overwhelming is, what is it about the situation that really upsets you? Just today, I was talking to a student, and when I was speaking with her, she was really upset. She was really worked up. And I thought, this is a great time to practice, right? Unbeknownst to her, she's my guinea pig. So I said, what is it about this that really upsets you? And she said that she lied to me. Okay, then why does that upset you so much? What is it about that she lied? That everybody lies. You've lied. I've told a lie, and I'm saying this to her. You've told lies. I've told lies. What is it really? And she said, well, it wasn't that she lied once. It's that she lied several times. And now I realize that I can't trust her. And that's upsetting. Okay, good. So what do we do now with that information? Rather than just running around like, she lied, she lied, she lied. That's not really helpful. You're not getting clear about the situation. Now that you know that you're upset because you feel like you can't trust her anymore, what now? And she said, well, I guess I have to decide what kind of people I want in my life, and I don't want dishonest people. So I guess I should either give her another chance and let it go, or decide to not have her in my life. Boom. And then she went, oh, it feels so good, right? Because it was, and I could feel it for her too. It was like, oh, now I'm clear. I got to the core reason of what was bothering me so much, and now I'm clear. I either have to go this way or that way, and I'm going to choose to go that way. She made her decision. So that's one thing that you can ask yourself as a clarifying question. What is it about the situation that really upsets me, and why, right? And then let yourself kind of sit in and understand why it is. And then what can you do from that point? What are my decisions now that I know what and why? Okay, so the second is, can this overwhelming situation be handled with some clear communication? Because a lot of times our problems have to deal with other people. And it has a lot to do with the fact that we're not being very clear about what it is that we want or desire, or they're not being very clear about what it is that they want and desire, and being like super honest, right? Because we talked about this before in previous videos, but people are not mind readers. You can't vaguely talk about something and expect that they're going to know exactly what you mean and exactly how you feel. We have to take ownership for our feelings. I feel this way when you blah, 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 and then how can we rectify this? Or sometimes it's, I feel this way because I'm not handling my business, and so I'm allowing this thing to infiltrate and to penetrate and to affect me in that way. So the second question is, can whatever it is, the situation, the overwhelmment, the stress, can it be handled by having some clear communication, by having a conversation? And if it's with someone that you feel like you can't have a clear conversation with, then that tells you a lot too about that particular person or that particular subject. And maybe it's something you just leave alone for a little while, or maybe you get a mediator, maybe you get a third party to help you mediate the situation. Maybe you wait till everybody's nice and calm, right? And then the final question is, when it comes to situations that are generally stressful and overwhelming, is am I meeting my own basic physical needs? Because I'll tell you from my perspective, when I feel overwhelmed, it's not because of the magnitude of all of the things that I have to do in my life. Because the reality is that we all have a lot of things to do all the time. That's real. That's living. That doesn't necessarily need to be a struggle. It's only a struggle when we decide to label it as such. That's just life, right? And it could be a lot of fun. It could be an adventure. It depends on how you call it. It could be exciting. What I recognize for myself is that when I'm not meeting my basic physical needs, I'm talking like I'm not getting enough sleep, I'm not eating enough, I'm not drinking enough water, I'm not meeting my basic physical needs. Did I exercise today? Did I get in some stretching? Did I move? Did I do something good for myself? Did I self-love? Did I do my affirmations? Did I meditate, right? Basic physical needs. If I'm not meeting those needs, I'm more likely to be agitated by things that generally won't agitate me. I personally know my threshold. And I know, okay, this is my cutoff point. I'm tired. I stop taking phone calls. I don't respond to emails because I recognize, I know where I have to cut it off so that I can continue to give from a place of love and compassion. But I cannot give what I do not have, so I have to stop and take care of myself and meet my basic physical needs. So those are your three basic questions to begin with in terms of finding clarity when it comes to feeling overwhelmed, when it comes to feeling like you're in a stuck, stressful situation. One, what really upsets you about the situation? Like, why is it that thing really upsets you? And then what one step can you take from there? Two, can it be handled with some really clear communication, remembering that they are not mind readers and that we have to own our feelings and our stuff? And then three, are we meeting our basic physical, spiritual needs to make sure that we're in a place of alignment so that we don't take on all of it at once? Because the reality is we don't have to do all of it at once. That's real. Right now, I have to sit down and make this video. That's what I have to do. And then when I'm done, I have to focus on making dinner. And then when I'm done, I have to fold the laundry. And then and so on and so forth. If I say, oh my gosh, I have all this stuff to do, I don't have to do it all right now in this moment. I just have to do this one thing. But I'm not going to do any of it until I make sure I'm taken care of so that I have the energy and I have the enthusiasm and I have the joy and I have the peace to do those things. So I hope that this is helpful. Again, those 3 questions, ask them to yourself. And I love this quote by Marie Forleo where she says that clarity comes from action, right? We can't sit around and just think and think and think and think. We don't get more clear when we just sit in those thoughts. So in this case, your action is answering these questions and being really honest with yourself and then seeing what your next step is. If it's needing to have a conversation, call the person, have a conversation. If it's sitting and figuring out what's really bothering you about something and then taking a step, figure it out and then take the step. If it's meeting your basic needs, what is that need that needs to get met? And then go meet that need. Stop making excuses for not meeting your basic needs and then saying, oh, well, I'll deal with that later. No, you won't. Or you're going to deal with it the hard way because you're tired when you really should just hit the brakes, take a nap if you can. So that's what I have for you today. I hope that this was helpful in helping you find some clarity around some things. For the month of November, I am going to tackle everything in terms of clarifying questions because, again, that's what works for me. So hopefully it's something that can work for you. It's also something that I find to be really useful when I'm dealing with clients and when I'm dealing with my daughter. And if people are really stressed out, I just ask clarifying questions. I want to get all the way to the root and then say, is this as devastating as we believed it to be a moment ago? And then generally, like 99% of the time, the answer is, no, wait, I can manage this. Yep, you just have to get out of your headspace and clarify. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week and a marvelous, super sparkly everything weekend. And if you know someone who can benefit from it, please share it. If you want to get these in your inbox every week, you can sign up for my mailing list, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and hit the thumbs up if you liked it and if it was helpful for you. Okay, I love you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your week and a fantastic, super sparkly weekend. Super sparkly everything. Super sparkly. Don't lick me. I don't like being licked.